A day meant to mark a moment of national pride for the Indian Air Force turned into a nightmare at Chennai's Marina Beach when a crowd of more than 15 lakh people surged towards exits, leaving 5 people dead and many hospitalized. The 6th of October Airshow, held to commemorate the Indian Air Force's 92nd anniversary, was the first such event in Chennai in over 2 decades. What was intended to be a spectacle of military aviation ended in chaos as the sheer size of the crowd overwhelmed both organizers and local authorities as well. Now, questions are being raised over the Indian Air Force aggressively pushing this event to set a Limca book of a world record by aiming to mobilize 15 lakh spectators, much beyond manageable, and the Chennai City Police's poor crowd and traffic management. And we have my colleague Sam joining us to get us more on this. Sam, unfortunately, what was really expected here was that the death toll would rise, and that's exactly what we've seen. From 3, now 5 people have died due to the chaos that erupted during that event.
That's right, Divya. The Tamil Nadu Health Minister Subramanian has confirmed that a total of 5 people have lost their lives after the spectacular Indian Air Force Airshow that was held yesterday on the Marina. And he blames it on the extreme heat conditions in Chennai yesterday. And he claims that the Tamil Nadu government had provided all arrangements the Indian Air Force had asked in terms of medical center, 4,000 beds kept ready, and deployment of doctors and paramedics along the route where the people, 15 lakh people, had walked or rushed soon after the air show. And he says all these 5 who died were brought dead, and as we speak now, 7 more remain as inpatients, and their condition is said to be stable. And big questions, tough questions are being asked both to the Tamil Nadu government as well as to the Indian Air Force that had attempted to set Limca Book of World Records, mobilizing 15 lakh people along the Marina as part of its 92nd anniversary. Whether this could have been avoided, whether they should have thought twice about mobilizing this kind of a crowd in a place that cannot handle this kind of a crowd along the Marina, that's being asked. Secondly, also questions on the way the Tamil Nadu government, particularly the Chennai police, handled the crowd as well as the traffic. While everything went well in the run-up to the event, after the event, the entire congregation of 15 lakh people had to rush to the roads to head towards the metro stations or railway stations or the parking slots where they had parked their cars or two-wheelers. And that's when they suffered extreme heat conditions, they suffered dehydration, hundreds fainted, and there was no help because even ambulances got stuck. And even DMK MP Kanimuli on X platform has said we should avoid in future such unmanageable crowds, she says. And the Tamil Nadu government claims all that was asked by the Indian Air Force was provided. Normally, Tamil Nadu government objects to this kind of larger gatherings, citing difficulty in handling. It could be law and order problems or it could be safety concerns. But this time, this being organized by the Indian Air Force as part of its 92nd anniversary, no such concerns were expressed. And the public, in a sense, were caught unawares because there was hardly any police presence on the ground when the entire 15 lakh people had to go on this road with no inch of space available for them to rest or move. And there was no police there to regulate the crowd, to direct them, to guide them in terms of traffic. They felt like they were left to fend for themselves. But the police claims they had deployed 7,500 police personnel, including 1,000 home guards. But the larger question, can they have handled this better, or should they have advised the Indian Air Force that this kind of a crowd cannot be handled, and they should have given a clear understanding to the people what is in store for them, especially after this 3 or 4 hour of wait on the Marina, that it may still take hours for them to clear this space. People thought the authorities would take care of everything. There was no water supply, there was no paramedics available, and all this had led to a situation of losing 5 lives now. Several questions, both for the Indian Air Force and for the Tamil Nadu government authorities for the kind of support they gave on the ground.
Right, Sam, you mentioned Kanimuri, who's taken to social media X and, said that the news of the death of those people is very sad and painful. But she's also gone on to say that the public witnessed not just the program, but they also suffered the crowd and the temperature was high. That is what she's gone on to mention, talking about the unmanageable gathering that should completely be avoided. Sam, what were the kind of people, what the number of people that were expected to gather for this? Was this on expected lines? When we talk about 15 lakh people, were they expecting 15 lakh people to show up?
From day one, Divya, the Indian Air Force, which normally does not brief the press often, but they had gone to town aggressively promoting this particular event, celebrating, of course, the Indian Air Force's 92nd anniversary and the kind of display of the Indian Air Force's might. But they were also particular that this event would turn into a world record, congregating or bringing together 15 lakh people. And that became a matter of concern because whether they had taken into account the limitations in terms of the infrastructure on the ground to handle this kind of a crowd. Because before the event starts, the crowd gathers over a period of 3 to 4 hours before the event. But after the event, the entire 15 lakh people rush to the main road to get back home in the heat conditions. And that's where they were caught unawares. And whether the Indian Air Force had taken into account these factors, that's the big question now. And it's in this context, Kanimoli MP has said that we should avoid this kind of unmanageable crowds in future. Even when a few years ago, almost nearly a decade ago, when the Marina witnessed a massive uprising in terms of the demand to exempt or remove the ban on the Jallikattu event, only around 3 lakh people had gathered. But this is 15 lakh people, entire beach dotted with thousands of spectators, and these raise several questions in terms of better planning, better raising awareness among the public as well, because they think once the Air Force or once the government play a role in this, they take it for granted that everything will be in place in terms of their safety, in terms of their guidelines to get them back home safe. But they never anticipated that they would have to wait, particularly those carrying little children, elderly people. They were all caught unawares, and there was no water supply along the beach road. There was no, even the eateries were shut. The ones that remained open did not have enough stock of water. So all these things factored into situations like massive fainting, people getting fainted, dehydration, heat stroke and things like that.